Hey everyone, I am DJ Legion from Audio Waves Academy, and today I'm doing something a bit different. Ozone 12 dropped almost 3 weeks ago, and instead of rushing out a video just for the clicks, I really just wanted to sit with it, really test it, and read through a ton of your comments on other popular Ozone 12 videos on YouTube. And wow, you had really great questions. But the big one is it even worth upgrading? Let's dive in. What are the real differences between Ozone 11 and Ozone 12? Are the new features substantial or mostly just a rebranding? First things first, let's have a quick overview what is new in Ozone 12. The stem EQ here, you have the option to EQ only the vocals, the bass, the drums or other, which in this case most of the times is going to be the instruments inside a stereo master. And then we have the bass control. When if I go and let it play, you're going to see that we are having a visual low-end control to tighten up your sub frequencies and balance the kick and bass. For example, here you can see that we have the balance. If you want, you can push it heavy, light, and some punchiness and so many more things. And the next thing that we have here is the unlimiter. What the unlimiter does, it restores dynamics that are over limited or over compressed in a track. For example, let's say you have an overcompressed drum kick or generally your drum bass. Another new feature that we have here is on the maximizer. Previously we had until IRC 4 and now we have the IRC 5, which is a new maximizer mode that gets you loudness with fewer artifacts. And the new feature that we also have here, if I go and do a fresh custom, you're going to see that we have the option from the custom assistant flow, which finally lets you tell the mastering assistant what you want to focus on. Let's say, for example, that I don't want the maximizer to be enabled when I start a new assistant. And now you can see that we don't have anything here on the maximizer at the end of the chain. A lot of you asked also whether you can just trust the AI mastering assistant or if you still need to tweak things manually. So let's go and run a test, and I'm just going to let it play. By the way, if you see this here enabled, this is my mastering preset that I almost every time use, and also on the Saturn. You can go and download them both for free in the link in the description. Now let's go and have a test how it sounds, and I'm going to use this time the custom, and I'm just going to leave it without the maximizer because it will be a bit loud. So let's go and start. If I go and see inside here, we can see that we have a lot of boost here on the low end, like 1.2 dBs. And here also again, something is happening, and also some air here on the highs. The dynamic EQ here decides that it should do just a small cut there. Okay, now let's go and add also the maximizer, and I'm just going to push it just a little bit. I can definitely hear that something is happening here on the high frequencies, and this comes here from the EQ here because we have a small boost there, and also the stabilizer. But to say the truth, I wouldn't go and use it like this. I would just go and take out this one because I find it a bit too much here on this low end. In this case, in this track, because I mixed it, it didn't do a lot of things because it was already good mixed. This is a great example how the Ozone 12 could work with a good mixed track. But in case you didn't have any great mixed track, I think it would make your life a bit harder. I really like the result, and I think that the assistant is a great starting point, but in my opinion not the final stop, because you will always need to tweak just the EQ, some dynamics or the low end balance by ear. And that's okay, the assistant saves a lot of time, but it can't know your creative vision, if you understand what I mean. The other question is Ozone 12 more helpful for fixing bad mixes, or is it a true mastering improvement? Well, in my opinion, It works for both, and it can really fix also bad mixes, but it will not be the ideal scenario. And of course, it has an improvement about mastering and especially the new bass control. And let me show you what I mean. My goal here would go and be at minus 0.1. And right now here on the master chain, we don't have anything on the low end. Let's go and add also the bass control. I'll just go and put it before the maximizer just for you to have an idea how it works. I'm just going to deactivate this. So right now it sounds like this. Right now we are hitting at -7, somewhere there, but it doesn't sound good. In my opinion, it sounds a bit distorted. The kick is a bit louder in comparison with the rest. What I could go and do is just go here and try to fix it from the bass control. So right now, if we focus a bit more, you can hear what we are going to fix. You can hear right away that when I push it, it goes like really hard. So in this case, I would just go and take down just a little bit here. And if we want to focus a bit more here to explain what the balance and the punch is. The punch, think of it, it works like a transient shaper. You can see here. We can tame down a little bit here the transients. And here on the balance, we have more on the low end, like something like an EQ. We are boosting here at the low end. And we are attenuating. So how I would go and use it in this case? I would just go and just like this maybe. And if I go here and take down a little bit of the balance more. So right now we are hitting at -6. We had a bit more headroom to work on it. But still, it's not the perfect because I find always like -6, it's a bit too much for, especially for trap tracks and hip hop. Maybe if you work a little bit on EDM, which is more compressed and it's like a brick, seriously like this, maybe there you can go and push it at -6, -5, but still, I'm really against this kind of the louder the better. The next question that I saw, a lot of people also were wondering, does the new Unlimited module really achieve anything different than the expander or transient shaper plugins? The answer is not exactly, and here's why. Most mastering engineers ask for a -6, -4 dB headroom, but many tracks still come at -0.5, like for this one here, for example, or some other like fully clipped. In those cases, the Unlimited can restore a bit here the punch and the presence, but still it's just a workaround. It's not the ideal mastering scenario. Let me show you here, for example. On this track, we had pushed here the maximizer. Let's go and break just a little bit down. So let's say that we have a we hit like 8 ULFS, -8 LUFS. So right now we are hitting at -9. And if I open my oscilloscope, you're going to see that we have a big brick. Let's go, and just for this purpose, I'm going to use the Unlimiter. And what you're going to do, you're going to take the input gain down. This is the way that you go and gain stage, but this is not the ideal. But still, again, it's just my opinion. So right now we are hitting at -14. Let's go and push a little bit more. And for example, right now we have here on our stereo out, we have a headroom at -8. And now I'm just going to give a little bit more dynamics with the Unlimiter. Okay, let's say that, for example, right now we are hitting at -3.2, and then you can go and use the maximizer to limit the track. So is it the perfect case? Well, to say the truth, I don't think so. I wouldn't go and use the unlimiter. Maybe like if it was really no other option to go and use to save the track, or to if I was in a hurry that the track needs to be released today and I didn't have any more access on the stems. The next question that I saw a lot of people asking was, how does the stem EQ in Ozone 12 compare to true stem mixing? Is this really mastering or just advanced mixing? After testing, I think that the stem EQ in Ozone 12 still isn't perfect. The separation algorithm struggles with busy stereo mixes, so you can hear 100% right away artifacts. And in my opinion, if the source mix is already off, stem EQ won't magically fix it, and it's better for some really small tweaks, but not for full stem mixing. And I always refer to the stereo master, right? For example, let's have a listen how it sounds when we have the stems extraction inside the logic, and the stems how they sound when I have only the Ozone 12. So let's go and focus, for example, right now only on the vocals. So you can hear right away, guys, that when I choose the vocals inside Ozone 12, you're going to hear that we have also the bass line in the lead, like playing the whole time. I think this happens because the vocals most of the times are meant to be like in mono, and we have some mono frequencies here that the Ozone 12 recognized as a vocal. So in this case, the Logic Pro stem wins. Let's go in now and test the drums. There's a big difference right away. I can hear that when I choose here the drums from the Ozone 12. I can hear right away that we have some artifacts and we are missing this transient, this punch from the kick and from the drums generally. And let's go and test also the bass. This is just a perfect example to show you guys that this doesn't work as it should. I can understand that the idea is pretty well, it's pretty good, but the execution not still there. And finally, the other, let's go and test also the other here. You can hear right away that the stem from Logic, the other stem here, this one, sounds much cleaner and much more like this has to be the stem. I know that it might sound a bit too much what I am saying right now. I'm not trying to talk bad about it, but I think that it's a deal breaker for some people, and it would be also for me a deal breaker if I didn't have other tools to fix these things. Another question that I see a lot of people ask is, Ozone 2 more CPU efficient, or do performance issues still reign? On my Mac Mini here, which has an M4 Pro, 24 gigabytes of RAM, right? Ozone 12 still feels heavy. I experienced some playback dropouts, and for example right now if I go and play the space, it's going to start a bit later. Have a look here. I'm going to press play. You see? And now I'm going to press stop. This is just an example about the latency that it introduces. The other question that I saw, are these updates mainly for correcting bad mixes? And maybe shouldn't we just address these problems earlier in the mix instead of just on the mastering stage? Well, to say the truth, guys, the real answer is Yes, ideally problems should be solved in the mix and not in the mastering. The mastering is meant just to polish, not repair. The other question is, how effective are the new modules like bass control, stem EQ for different genres like rock or metal? The limiter, I think that it is really great for bringing back some patch and dynamics for overcompressed mixes, which is most of the times like pretty common in metal, especially because there you're having a lot of instruments playing the whole time, and it is really perfect for restoring life to the drums, for example, or making dense mixes breathe again. Also, the bass control is super helpful for getting this tight balanced low end. The stem EQ, okay, I said bad things, let's say, about it, but it is sometimes useful when you only have a stereo file. You can lift vocals, brighten some snares. It's not as precise as a true stem mixing, especially in very busy metal mixes, but it can still save a master when you need some final tweaks. Does Ozone 12 make a mix sound better, or does it just make it louder? Everybody knows about the loudest war, and I think that Ozone 12 can absolutely make a mix sound better if it is used carefully. The new modules, this one here, as I already mentioned, the IRC5, it allows for clarity, punch and tonal shaping and not just loudness, because you can push a little bit more here without having this distortion. Should you really quit mastering because of AI or just adapt to the changes? Guys, don't quit mastering because of AI. Instead, adapt. AI modules like the mastering assistant in Ozone are only starting points, well, at least for now. They speed up the workflow, they suggest some change and help beginners, but it cannot replace the human taste, the human ear, and generally the experience that some trained engineers have. When I say adaptation, I mean learning to use these AI tools as fast templates, then customizing the settings by ear instead of letting automation dictate your final sound. You know, a lot of what makes Ozone really powerful isn't just the new modules. It is knowing how to use the core features and that it shares with Ozone 11 also. So that's why I put together a mastering with Ozone course, where I go step by step through EQ, compression, limiting and loudness and everything that you need confidently to master tracks with Ozone. And yes, in the next weeks I will update more in depth to include the new Ozone 12 additions. So in case you got the Ozone 11 course from my website, you will get a free update to Ozone 12 course new features. Just check the link in the description below. And now the final and the most important question that I think I should answer. Is it worth upgrading? If you have the skills, to say the truth, no. Because as I already said, the stem EQ, I wasn't so fond of it because I didn't like how it sounded about the stem extractions. And okay, the bass control is really great, but does the bass control really worth the $200 upgrade? I don't know, I don't think so. Now about using the unlimiter, I don't see myself, to say the truth, to work with it, because most of the times I have a good connection with the producer that sends me the track for master, and I always mention, guys, take out the limiter, take out everything from the master. You can send me a reference track, of course, so that I can have an idea how it sounds. And the last one that is just for a gimmick for me, in my opinion, is the custom, where I go and click and select what I want and what I don't want. For me, it's just okay. I'll just go and deactivate it then later. I think that it's not such a big thing. So guys, that's it for today. A deep dive into your real questions. I know it might be a bit longer video, but I really wanted to think like in your head how I could go and answer these questions. If you think that today's video helped clear up some questions and confusions, hit the like and the subscribe button and let me know in the comments what you want to see next. See you on the next video.